In this video, I'm going to show you how creators on Instagram are generating thousands of engaged leads every month with a really simple automation. Firstly, I'm going to show you a high-level overview of how this strategy works and all of its benefits. Then a more in-depth breakdown of the strategy that also explains how to turn those engaged leads into customers. And finally, I'm going to teach you step by step the technical implementation of this system so you can start to make real money off organic content on Instagram. If you would like access to this Figma board and all the automation templates that we are going to use later in this video for the actual build out, you can go to the first link in the description and get it for free, okay? So how does this infinite lead generation machine work? Here I have 4 different creators on Instagram that are all using the same method, and I'm gonna explain to you what it is right now. So let me start here with Sebastian. So he has a B2C business where he teaches his students how to do dropshipping. One way he uses to get students for his program is leveraging Instagram organic content and YouTube. And what he's doing here with this reel is that he talks about dropshipping through the post, and then at the end he has a call to action telling the viewer to comment the keyword sleepy, and he will send a full guide on dropshipping. The only thing the viewer has to do to get this guide is to comment the specific keyword. And in the backend, Sebastian has an automation that automatically sends a DM to the viewer with the in-depth guide in exchange for their email. We can see the same thing with Dropship here. They have a SaaS platform and they have a pinned comment here on this reel saying, want a free AI Shopify store? Comment the keyword W and they will send it to you. So more than 400 people commented the keyword W and all of them entered their sales funnel. Here the same thing with Ravi. He has a B2B business and he made this post telling the viewer to comment this keyword and he would send a guide on a specific topic, and more than 300 people commented the keyword and entered his sales funnel. The same thing here with Tony Jeffries. He has a B2C business where he teaches his students how to box, and I have here 2 different posts that he made telling the viewer to comment a specific keyword and he would send the guide or the video that he made about boxing, and in this case he got thousands of comments of people interested. So now that you have a better understanding, let me actually show you how it works. So the pillar of everything is the content you create. This content drives traffic to a lead magnet. In the case here with Sebastian, the lead magnet is an in-depth guide on dropshipping. Later in this video, I'm going to teach how you can create a lead magnet for your niche. So they create content that drives traffic to their lead magnet. Before they give the guide to the viewer, they first collect his email, all automated, and you can also add them to a free community. The free community and the email sequences that you will be sending to the lead will all work together on the same goal, which is to nurture the relationship you have with that lead. Because warming up your lead before you ask them to buy your services is essential. Also, the lead magnet has a CTA to your paid offer or service. So in case here with Sebastian, he can have the guide on dropshipping, right? And then at the end, he has a CTA to his paid product where he actually makes the money. And if the lead magnet, if the in-depth guide, in this case on dropshipping, is really good, some people will directly convert into a paying customer. Now, most leads will consume the lead magnet, but not turn right away into a customer. But that's fine because we got them into a free community and we collected their email, so we can nurture them and then turn them into a paying customer. So here I have 6 different benefits of this strategy, and the first one is that it incentivizes engagement. Because if you tell the user that you are going to give him something for free in exchange to simply them commenting on your reel, that lead magnet is a really good incentive for them to engage with your content. And because all these people commented on your post because they want a lead magnet, it increases the possibility of virality because all those comments will give a little bit of boost on the post. The third benefit is that it reduces friction. Now, for the viewer to get into your sales funnel, they don't need to go to your profile, click on the link tree, and none of that. They just need to comment a specific keyword you tell them to comment, and they will enter your sales funnel. Now, the fourth benefit is that now you own your audience, because before you give them the lead magnet, you collect their email and optionally you add them to a free community. And now you are not dependent on the algorithm to reach out to that viewer, because you now have their email and you can reach out whenever you like to sell your products and provide more value. And that's why you now have more opportunities to sell your products and services, because you collected their information and you can reach out to them whenever you like. Now let me break down to you every single step of this method. So the first one is obviously you need to create a lead magnet. Lead magnets get leads to engage. Here is a 7-step process that you need to follow to create an effective lead magnet. But the most important step is that you need to make the lead magnet really good. So here I have, make your free product so valuable that people feel like they owe you money. This way you will be able to convert many more people to your paid product or service. You can learn more about leads and lead magnets and all that in Alex Hormozi's book, $100 Million Leads. Lead magnets are pieces of high value content that address specific pain points for your ideal customers. This could be an in-depth PDF, a multi-video series, a webinar, workshop, ebook, white paper, checklist, free systems playbook, or a free trial. Now I have here a couple of platforms that you can use to host the lead magnets. So if you are going to create a document, you can use Google Docs or Notion. If your lead magnet is going to be a template or a preset, you could use Gumroad. If it's going to be a video course, you can use Kajabi. And if you're going to create a free community, I recommend using School or something like Discord. School is great because you can also store your documents, your templates, your video courses all inside of School. So School is really good and it's a great lead magnet that you should have for your audience. Now that you have your lead magnet, you need to create content with a call to action. So I have 2 examples here: DM or comment the keyword help for instant access to the, and then your lead magnet absolutely free. Another one here, comment the keyword guide and I will send you my free guide personally in your DMs. These are great call to actions that you should add into the content you are going to produce for Instagram. So comment or send DM with specific keyword. And now you can create 3 different types of content with these call to actions. It can be a reel, a story, or a carousel. Let me break it down for you, each different piece of content. So first, here with stories, it can look something like this. So we have an image in the background, an image of the lead magnet, what the lead magnet is about, and then the call to action. Reply with the keyword content and I will send it over to you. A tip that I have for you is that you should pin that story that you have with the CTA to your highlights. This will act as an everlasting lead magnet because now every person that visits your profile can interact with that story and become an engaged lead in your sales funnel. Now with reels, it can look something like this. We already saw it. So you have the reel, and then inside of the actual reel, you tell the viewer to comment a specific keyword, and also you can do that on the pinned comment. So here we have comment the keyword 95% below and it'll send you a DM. Now carousels, the same thing, but the CTA is at the end. So here I have an example: 8 best chest exercises for building muscle. Each card has the actual exercise, and then at the end we have the call to action. So comment huge for access to my free fitness program. If you are going to create a carousel, make sure to use music or some type of audio so that carousel can be featured in the Reels tab. Now the posting schedule you should follow is something like this. So the stories could be 1 to 2 stories per week, the reels 5 to 7 reels per week, and a carousel 1 carousel per week. These are posts with CTAs. Now you shouldn't add a CTA on every reel you post on your personal account, because that's going to be a little bit too much if you are always adding a call to action in every reel you post. But if you are going to create content for your business on your business account, it makes more sense adding a CTA like this in every reel. Now that you created the content, you need to create an automation inside of ManyChat that will actually interact with the viewer that commented that specific keyword. And that automation will add that viewer to your contacts list, will add a tag to them with the name of the lead magnet you have. This is just for better organization than down the line on the CRM. And then we need to collect the viewer's email. So there are 2 options here. We can send them to an opt-in page. It can look something like this. So access the template, you click and you provide the email, or something like this one. If you are going to use Gumroad to host your lead magnet, they already create a opt-in page for you that you can use to collect the lead's email. Now the second option is to collect the email inside of the DM. So here I have an example where I commented on this creator's story with the keyword content. ManyChat automatically sent me a DM asking if I want the guide. I said yes, and then I provided my email address. So these are the 2 ways you can use to collect the viewer's email, so then you can use down the line to obviously sell your products and services. So now to actually send the lead magnet, we are going to use the automation platform called Make to store this new lead into our CRM. In this case, we are going to use Airtable later in this video, and then obviously send the lead magnet to the person because that's why they commented on the post. You can set up Airtable in such a way that it tracks who of the leads books a call, all the lead magnet interactions. So if you have multiple lead magnets, you can see that this lead interacted with 3 of your lead magnets, this one interacted with just 1 lead magnet that you have, and so on. You can also set up a follow-up reminder so you know that you need to follow up with them because they are your ICP. I'm going to show you how you can do this later in this video on the build out section. Now I'm going to show you 5 different methods that you can use to sell your products and services. So the first one is inside the actual lead magnet. So as I told you before, inside of the lead magnet you will have a call to action to your main product or service, and that call to action will convert some people. So that's the first method you can use to get some customers. Now the second one is creating an email swap opera sequence. You can do that by using a platform like ConvertKit. This sequence is a series of 5 to 7 emails that are used to engage readers, build rapport, and sell products. Here I have more information about it. You can pause the video and read it. I also added a link in the description to this website where you can learn more about these type of sequences. And the actual sending of these emails is obviously all automated. So the sequence could look something like this. The first email, it's a welcome email, and you tell the lead, the person, what can they expect. The second email, you highlight the pain point that your solution helps with, and you speak to your avatar of client. The third email, you can show some client results, testimonials, and case studies. The fourth email, you tell them why you are the right choice to go with, so what's special about you. The fifth email, you tell them what is the outcome of them not working with you. So you answer the question, what pain points will they continue to have if they don't work with you? And then on email 6, you tell them what's the steps they need to follow to start working with you, and how does the process looks like when they become a client. You gotta make sure that you make it painless. And then finally, at the email 7, you add your call to action, work with us, and what should they do now to get started. So you don't need to follow this sequence. You can do something like this. So on the first 5 emails, you simply provide more value, you simply help them more, and then on the last 2 emails, you start selling. So on the email 6, you sell a little bit, and on email 7, you go for a hard sell. And here are the timestamps of actually sending the emails. So after 1 hour of that person becoming a lead, you send them the first email, and then after 2 days, 4 days, 6, 8, 10, and 12 days. Now I'm going to show you an example of a welcome email and a client result email. So the subject line for the welcome email is your journey starts here, and then we continue to provide more value to that person. So welcome to the greatest AI for content creation community in the world. So hey Caleb, you have just joined a movement made up of over 2,000 business owners and content creators who are creating systems to level up their business fast. And because you wrote on the subject line that you have a new guide for them, you actually add it here. So first off, before you dive in, here's your free download and then the new guide that you have. Also, as I told you on the welcome email, we should answer the question, what can people expect? So here I have now, over the next few weeks, I will be sending you my best, and then you write the rest. The system strategies and case studies I'm going to send you will, and then all of the benefits. And also I'm going to share our best advice on. My goal is to give you exactly what you need so you can level up your business with content creation. Are you ready? If so, then keep an eye out for tomorrow's email. And you can also ask them a question on the PS here. So I would love to hear from you what are your current struggles with that are keeping you from growing. I read every reply I get. So if this person is your ideal customer profile and they reply, you can then follow up with them to nurture them even more and try to sell your service. Here I have a client result email. So the subject line is meet Joe, who implemented, and then you add your product and service, and soon after got their desire. So hey Caleb, this is obviously the name of the person, the lead. Today I wanted to share a discussion I had with Joe, who I think you will relate a lot. And then you can add a thumbnail for that video testimonial. So James came to your product or service because he was struggling with problem you solve. Then you can write a short summary of Joe's story and problems, and then your mechanism gave Joe the roadmap and know-how to their desire. I would like you to watch the recording of my interview with Joe. It's only 10 minutes long and it might be exactly what you need right now. And obviously this text is the link for that video that you have with your client. So this is a little bit of the swap offer sequence, which is a method that you can use to sell your services and products after you collected the lead email. Now the second one is adding that lead to your newsletter. The main objective of the newsletter is to provide value, and you can add a CTA for your offer in each email. So something like, whenever you are ready, here's how I can help you, and then a link to book a call with you or something like that. So for your newsletter, the main focus is to provide value. So here I have an example. Subject line, your 500K organic content funnel blueprint in one email. The proven system to generate 20 plus sales calls a month without paid ads. You add the content, value, another CTA, more value, and then at the end, something along these lines. So how do you implement this in your business? Book a clarity consultation with my team below, link. And if you're not ready to invest in your service yet, I created and then another guide that you created to help you benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 3, and then a link to the guide, providing more value. Here I have 4 more different emails that you can do. So a value plus CTA with scarcity email, an email going through your lifestyle and also creating value, an email that provides value and also shows social proof, and like I showed before, a client's results email. So the newsletter is another method that you can use to sell your product and services. Now, as I told before, the free community is also great. You can set up an auto DM upon joining with a discount upsell code. So every time a new member joins in your community, they get a discount for your product or service. Inside of the community, you should have weekly calls where you engage with your members and you provide more value. And then down the line, they will become customers, because if your free value is really good, you must have a really good paid product or service. Now, the last method I have here that you can use to sell your service and products is actually inside of the DMs. So after you collected the lead email, you can send a message saying just send it to your email, and also, is it cool if I ask you a quick question? So you can follow up with them and see if you can turn them into a customer. So with this, every lead you generate will now be nurtured, and you would have provided 10x more value than your competitor who just has a landing page with a book a call button. So this is the full breakdown of the strategy. As I told you before, these creators use a tool called ManyChat to automatically send a message to that lead, asking for their email and sending the lead magnet. So now I'm going to teach you how to set up ManyChat so you can do the same for your lead magnets. And I will also show you how to add that lead automatically to your CRM and send the lead magnet. This is the CRM we're going to create, so let's get started. So before I show you how to build all these different automations, let me quickly run you through what we are going to build. I have here my phone, and I'm going to send a DM to myself with the keyword that is going to trigger this automation. So in this case, this automation is for a lead magnet about systems and automations. It's a guide on that. So the keyword is guide. So if the user sends a message with the keyword guide, in this case, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to say guide. This automation will trigger. It's going to say, hey, João, are you looking for the free guide on how to leverage systems and AI automation to grow your business? I'm going to say yes. And then it's going to ask for my email so it can send the lead magnet. And if I provide the correct email, it will trigger the rest of the automations here on Make. And it just did it. So ManyChat got the information. It searched on our CRM to see if it's an existing lead or a new lead. It sent the lead magnet. And because it's a new lead, it created the new lead and added that new lead to the newsletter. This module here that sends the lead magnet will trigger another automation. And as we can see, because the lead magnet is how to leverage systems and AI automation for growth, the data will go through this route and send this email with the lead magnet. So I got it here, the email, the guide to leverage systems and AI, boom, the text, the link, etc. After sending the guide, it will wait 9 seconds and say just send it to your email, and then it will wait another 30 seconds and say also, is it cool if I ask you a quick question? So if I open Airtable, our CRM, we can see the new lead appeared here, the full name, the email address, the date that they subscribed, and the lead magnet they interacted with, as we can see here. As you can see here in this automation, I have 2 different email modules because I have another automation for a different lead magnet. So if I go here, this automation is triggered by a different keyword. In this case, it's make.com. So if I say make.com here, it's going to trigger this flow. Are you looking for the make.com free training to level up your automation skills? I'm going to say yes. And the automation is set up to send a different message when ManyChat already has our email on file. So it says sweet, it looks like we already have your email on file, and then the email. In this case, I have 2 options, send the training or change email. I'm going to say send the training. And this will again trigger the make.com automation. In this case, because it's an existing lead, the data will go through this route and update the existing lead. So if I go back here to the CRM, we don't have a new lead, but this lead was updated. And as we can see here, it added the new lead magnet I interacted with. So I know that this lead interacted with 2 lead magnets. And we can see that this time the data went through this route and ran this email that sends a different email with the lead magnet. As you can see, the ultimate make.com free training. So this way you can set up different lead magnets, and you don't have to always be asking for the email of the user because ManyChat already has that email, but they can still change the email, and I'm going to explain to you all of these different modules and what is happening in the background right now. So the first thing you have to do is go to ManyChat.com and create an account. You click on Get Started and you select Instagram, and then you have to connect your Facebook account that is linked to your Instagram account. And one thing you have to do is change your Instagram account to a professional account. So you go to Instagram settings, account, and switch account type, and you put it in professional mode. Then the next step is to connect your Instagram account to a Facebook page. So you need to create a Facebook page, and if you don't have a Facebook page yet, there's a link here that you can click that will open a step-by-step guide that will help you create a Facebook page. And again, you can get access to this Figma board in the first link in the description in my free resource hub. After you created your Facebook page, you have to follow these instructions here to set up ManyChat correctly and make sure that everything is working. Once you have correctly set up ManyChat with your Instagram account, you can go to this Figma board and click on this link, and it will open the automation template, so you can just save it to your account and use it right away. Once you save the automation to your account, you can click on it and edit it for your specific use case. To change the keyword that will trigger this automation, you can go to the first trigger here. This trigger is when the user comments on your post or reel. So if you click on it and you edit it, you can select all posts or a specific post, so you can have this automation just for a specific reel. And then you click on the next option and you can set up all the keywords that you want. In this case, I'm going to leave it. And finally, on the last step, you can set up different replies to the people that commented on your post. So it will look something like this. So when the person comments the keyword, it will automatically reply to that comment saying, send the link, check your DMs, or something along those lines. If you are going to do that, I recommend adding more replies here, so it's a little bit more random. The same here with this trigger. So this second trigger is when the user sends a DM, and you can obviously change the keyword to whatever you want. So yeah, this is the second trigger. So if the user performed one of these actions, it will go to the next step. In this case, it's just a normal message. We are going to ask if the person is looking for our lead magnet with the button saying yes. And then we have here a condition that will check if we already have that user's email. And if we already have that user's email, it's going to say, sweet, it looks like we already have your email on file. This way, the user doesn't have to always be providing his email every time he wants a lead magnet from us. But in case it's a new lead, it's going to go to this step here and say, great, what email should I send it to? This step is going to wait for a reply, so it's not going to send anything. It's just going to wait for a reply. It's going to wait for a reply type email. And then if the user did not reply with his email in 23 hours, it will send another message saying, I again, first name, let me know if you still want the free guide, with a button saying I still want it. And if the user clicks on it, it will go back to this step and ask for the email again. This step here, this action will run if we get a successful input from the user, which means that the user provided an email. And this action will set a user field called lead magnet, and the value is the lead magnet. So you can set up different custom user fields by going to the settings, to the fields tab, and create a new user field, and you name it lead magnet, type text, and you create a new user field that then we are going to use here, and the value will be the name of the lead magnet that we have on Airtable. So here on Airtable, I have 3 different lead magnets. In this case, for this automation, the lead magnet is the make.com free training. So I just go here and copy this value and paste it here, so that Make can then map the values correctly and have everything set up accordingly. Because the value of this user field is used to determine which lead magnet to send to the lead. So if I analyze here the run that was completed when I was testing on my phone, I can go here on this bubble and see what's the information ManyChat sent to Make. And then I can go on the custom fields, and there will be a custom field called lead magnet with the name of their lead magnet. And this custom field variable will then be used to determine which lead magnet to send. So here on the send lead magnet value, we are going to send JSON to this other automation, and one of the key value pairs here on JSON is named lead magnet, and the value is the custom field from the ManyChat module. So that's why we need to set up this user field so that we know which lead magnet to send to the user. And then after setting up the user field, we are going to trigger the webhook on Make. To connect ManyChat to Make.com, you go to the ManyChat account settings and generate a new API key. So you go to Settings, API, and then you generate a new API key. And then you copy this API key and you paste it to the access token field when creating a new connection with ManyChat. So here on Make, if I add a new module and I try to create a new connection, you're going to see that I have to provide an access token. This access token will be the API key you generated on the ManyChat settings. After setting up the connection, you create a new webhook. In this case, my webhook is named My ManyChat Webhook. And then here on ManyChat, if you go to Actions and Trigger Make, the webhooks will appear here. Then you have to do the same configuration for this step. Paste the correct value on the custom user field and the correct webhook for your connection with Make.com. This step here is only executed when we already have that user's email on file. So here on the condition, if the user's email has any value, it means that we already have that email. So it's going to say this message, and we have two buttons: send the training or change email. If the user clicks on change email, it will go to this node. Clicks on send the training, it will trigger this action and then go to this step here. This step here is executed after triggering Make, and it will wait 9 seconds and say just send it to your email, and then wait another 30 seconds and say also, is it cool if I ask you a quick question? I forgot to say, but you can just import the blueprint from this automation, so everything is already set up for you. As I said, you can download the blueprints for these automations in the resource hub. So you go to choose file, so you select the first blueprint, and it's going to appear the automation. The first module here, you have to create a new webhook or use an existing one. And then for Airtable, what you want to do is go to the Figma board, go down here, and there's a link for you to copy the Airtable base. It will open this website and you can just use the template base, and it will copy this base for your Airtable account. Here on Airtable, it will look something like this, and then back on Make, you have to create a new connection or use your existing connection. And then you select the correct base and the correct table. In this case, the base is named inbound leads DB and the table is IG leads. And you can just leave everything as it is. But here on the formula, this ManyChat ID is the column that we have here on the Airtable base. And it's simply searching on our base to see if there's a ManyChat ID equal to the ID that we got from ManyChat. If it finds any value, it means that it's an existing lead. However, if it doesn't return any value, it means it's a new lead. That's why here on the filtered labeled new lead, the condition is the total number of bundles returned from this module equal to 0, while the existing lead route is simply a fallback route, which means that if the data doesn't go through this route, it will go through this one. Now this module will run another automation, so what you have to do is create a new scenario and import the other blueprint, the send lead magnets blueprint. Then you have to create a new webhook and copy its URL and paste it here on the HTTP module. This module will make a request to this webhook with the data so it can send the lead magnets. The data that's going to be sent to the other automation is type JSON, and here are the key value pairs that we are going to send. So the variable is called lead magnet, and then the actual value, the same with email and first name and last name. And then if set it up correctly, it will look something like this. So the webhook is going to receive the data and create 4 different variables. The lead magnet variable's value will determine which route should the data take. In this case, if the lead magnet is Make.com free training, it will run this email module and send the email to the email address that we got from the webhook. And here's the content with a little bit of HTML to style the text. For the other lead magnet, the condition is similar, so it's going to check if the lead magnet is equal to this guide that I have here. In case it is, it will send a different email with that specific guide, and it will obviously send the email to the email variable that we got from the webhook. So that's why we have this module here, and then the automation will continue to run. So we have 2 routes here. The first condition here is going to check if the Airtable output is equal to 0. If it is, it means that it didn't find the lead on our CRM, which means it's a new lead, so it's going to create a new lead. And then all the variables are mapped out to the correct fields. And then here on lead magnets, it's type array, because here on the CRM, we have a multiple select type field. So we have here the lead magnets. And we have to make sure that this variable from ManyChat has the correct lead magnet name. That's why here on the actions, when we set the user field, you have to make sure that this value is the same with the option that you have on Airtable. Then after creating a new lead on our CRM, it's going to also create a new subscriber on our newsletter. In case this module found the lead on our CRM, it means that it's an existing lead. So the data will go through this route. The first module, we are updating that lead. So the record ID is the ID that we found on the first Airtable module. And we are going to update the email and the IG last interaction. So this field here on Airtable is the last interaction that the user had with our lead magnets. So it's just a date. We are going to update that. And here on the lead magnets, we want to add the new lead magnet that the user interacted with. So what this is doing is adding a new value to the lead magnets array. For example, this user has interacted with 2 lead magnets, and what we want to do is add a new one. So we take the existing lead magnets that are assigned to that user and we add the new one with this variable here from ManyChat. After updating the lead, it's going to go through this filter. By the way, these variables here from ManyChat shouldn't be white, they have to be black. The variable is white here because I didn't finalize the connection with ManyChat there. But once you set up ManyChat correctly and these automations, these variables will appear black. So what is this condition doing? It's basically checking if, it's going to check if the email that we have from the user on our CRM is the same to the email that we got from ManyChat. So as you remember, the user has the option to change its email. And this filter here is simply checking if the user did indeed change his email. And if they did change the email, it will add that new email to our newsletter. So those are the breakdowns of these different automations, and now what I'm going to show you is what you have to do if you want to add a new lead magnet. So if you have a new guide that you want to share with your audience, you go to the lead magnets here and you add a new option. I'm going to say onboarding automation template as the lead magnet. Then here on ManyChat, you want to duplicate the same template, open it up, edit, go here to the triggers, click all posts or reels. The keyword we are going to say, in this case, I'm going to say onboarding. The replies to the comments, I'm going to keep it. And then here on the DM trigger, I want to turn it on and change the keyword. So this is not opening up the options. So I'm just going to delete this. Go to new trigger and say user sends a message. The text specific word, keyword onboarding and create. Then here you have to change the copy. So you say, are you looking for the, hey, first name, are you looking for the onboarding automation template? Yes. Then it's going to check if we already have that user's email. Here you don't have to change anything, but then we have to change these actions. So here on the user field, you have to paste the same name that you have on Airtable and do the same with this action. Then you go on update and that's it. The automation is completed here on ManyChat. For this automation here on Make, you don't have to do anything, but you got to change this one. You're going to click on routes and add a new filter. The filter label, it can be anything, but in this case, I'm going to say the lead magnet's name. The condition is the same as the other ones, but the text is equal to the new lead magnet that you have. Here, I'm just going to do this. And then here, you can just copy the email module, delete this filter, delete this one, and change the email contents so you give the right guides or templates to the person. And then click OK, save, and that's all you have to do every time you have a new lead magnet to give to your audience. So yeah, that's it guys. If you have any questions about the technical implementation, you can just comment down below. As I said, you can get access to all of these automations and this Figma board in the first link in the description. And I hope you found this video valuable, and I see you in the next one.